On April 18, 2013, President of Uganda launched Vision 2040, a national development plan designed to propel Uganda towards middle-income status by 2040. One of the objectives of the National Development Plan is universal access to adequate and sustainable safe water and improved standards of sanitation and hygiene. How will this be achieved? Each financial year, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development presents the national budget, showing outputs and budget allocations for each national government agency. Before the budget reading, a series of consultative meetings are held by a number of stakeholders to inform the budget. The budget process occurs in 4 main stages, which include design by technocrats, approval by councillors, implementation by sectors, and evaluation by auditors. The Public Finance Management Act 2015 and the Local Government Planning Guidelines provide for wider consultations at all levels of governance with key stakeholders that include government, community members, civil society organizations, private sector, to mention but a few. In this film, we explore the extent to which local communities and civil society organizations are engaged in the budget processes, including budget planning, informing budget allocations, implementation and monitoring government projects for effective WASH service delivery at local government level, and how this in turn facilitates participatory decision-making, transparency, accountability in the water and sanitation subsector.
The budget process is a bottom-up approach. Budgets are initiated from the lower government units. So it's the local communities that identify their challenges. They input them into the local budget framework paper. Then those feed into the national budget framework paper.
At designing level, a number of consultative meetings with key stakeholders are held to come up with the budget, sector and district framework papers. At local government level, consultative budget conferences are held annually in different districts with key stakeholders to inform development plans and budget allocations. Here in Fort Portal Municipal Council East Division, a consultative budget conference is in progress. It is attended by local government officials, community leaders, councillors, community members, private sector and civil society organizations.
And one of the things in this budget conference is really for us to share with these communities, the opinion leaders. Most of them who come for this are opinion leaders, the representatives and so on. You know, once they buy them at this point, when you get down, they even help us explain more and people understand the opinion leaders more than the municipal council.
In this budget conference, communities' opinions are shared by the chair of the Municipality Development Forum, an association that brings together all groups of people living and working in Fort Portal Municipality. This forum holds monthly meetings where different community representatives air their views on service delivery in the municipality and also identify critical development challenges that need to be addressed by the authorities.
The budget conference is the very first step in formulating the budget for the municipal council. So we feel like when we are there, we bring out exactly what the public wants, so that data is collected and taken to the technical planning committee led by the town clerk, looks into them, prepares them, adds mass onto it, and then take it to council. Council approves and amends, and then they take it to the TPC to implement and make the final budget, which is laid before council to pass.
In Lira District, the District Water Office has convened a water and sanitation advocacy meeting to review district water sanitation and hygiene performance from 2010 to 2015 financial years. The meeting has brought together the political leaders, community leaders, technical staff, councillors, civil society organizations to evaluate the district's budget performance vis-a-vis quality of services provided. In this meeting, the different stakeholders are given an opportunity to share their work, challenges faced in service delivery, and also inform the district development plans.
So when it comes to the budgeting, this is where now partners and stakeholders are really involved, because we need to prioritize our facilities to where need be, especially those in need. So communities do do apply for these facilities from right away from their parish and village level, and they send this to the sub-counties, which in the sub-counties they prioritize. From the sub-counties is where they send in the list of sources that we need to work in, depending on the number of sources that we had planned for that particular year.
In these different consultative meetings, communities are given an opportunity to inform development plans. But what happens when the community's wish list surpasses what the budget can afford?
When we hold our budget conference, that is what we call a brainstorming wish list from every sub-county. So when we get those wish lists of, say, on health and water, we now ask them, can you go back in your PDCs, in your parish development committees, to pick from the very many you had planned to the few against this resource? Because we would have told them the resource envelope now. Please, this sub-county, your budget for water cannot go beyond 120 million. So can you see your priorities? Then they bring it back to us through the sub-county council.
Sometimes the wish list is too big that we are not able to do all of it. Because, when members come, they come with a lot of ambitions. But there are those areas, the very sensitive areas, which we think we cannot do without. So once we capture those, the resources we have, we direct them towards those areas.
In cases where priorities lack budget allocations, other stakeholders come in to foot the bill.
Whenever there's a budgetary issues, the CSOs are called. They would say, okay, this is what is our budget for this year, the disbursement, but let's share the work plan. What do you have? So the district maybe would be having plan for only 5 boreholes, but there's need for 20 of them. So they would ask and find out who has the vote for that, then we intervene.
For years, Olaka Annex Primary School, located in Ongesha A Village, Angi Parish, Lira Sub-County, faced a number of challenges, including the lack of water and sanitation facilities. Through engagement with the district leadership and CSOs in the planning meetings, the school received support from Divine Waters Uganda, a UWASNET member and regional coordinator for members in Acholi and Lango region.
There was a time when some district leaders came here for the handover, and we presented that problem. And they told us that they are still going to look for opportunities because they don't have any source that they can help me to construct these toilets and then drill for us water. So they promised for us that in case any NGO comes who is working in relationship to those problems that we were encountering, they will convince them at least to come and do for us something.
In cases where communities' demands are unfunded and there is limited support from other stakeholders to realize these demands, the demanded services are categorized as unfunded priorities and deferred to the next financial year. In other cases, councillors inform service delivery and decide what services go to which communities.
At district level, we sit. In the council, we thereafter debate and then look at all the critical areas which are supposed to be helped first. And now, when such areas are helped, we even go down to sub-county local councils. We advise them to really plan or take these resources that the district has budgeted to the most needed area. Like I could say, an health center is not having the water point.
This, however, may have unintended consequences.
At times we find there is a borehole here and another one here, 5 boreholes in a distance of about 1 kilometer. Because the political leaders have a higher say, perhaps the chairman of a sectoral committee, or the MP comes from that village, several leaders come from that. So it came to a situation where those who make more noise take more, and it affects equity. So the most affected remain more marginalized, and they resort to either demonstrating when they have a chance, or waiting for a president
at a rally, when he asks the question, have you ever seen money? They also say, no, sir, we have never seen a coin here.
For us, the political leaders of Lira, we are not on that notion of noise makers as per se. We are critical leaders as demanded by us. And all of us are brought together in planning. So when it comes to budgeting, it is all of us, the chairman's role, the councillor's role, the council role. When it comes to resource allocations, all of us are comprehensively held together for the success of the district.
You know, there are situations where councils are referred to as interfering with government programs. On my part, I normally tell them that that is the event where I'm trying to intervene in a situation where my community members are crying. They want water. They want maybe better road. Maybe in this case, water. Yes, that is a moment I have to come seriously. And then go to the respondents. Tell them what are you doing about my people. You see? So it's not just a matter of making noise. For me, I just not make noise for granted.
Involvement of communities and civil society organizations in budget planning, allocations, implementing and monitoring government services has scaled up service delivery in a number of districts. In Fort Portal Municipal Council, this participatory approach improved waste management in the municipal council. Kitere Waste Management Plant was established 6 years ago to sustainably manage waste. All the waste generated in the 3 divisions of the municipality is brought to Kitere Waste Management Plant.
Before the plant was established, there was a system called crew dumping. People would just organize the garbage, put it in the skips, and then it would be dumped. And when garbage is not sorted, then it produces a bad smell. So we had a challenge of people chasing us from time to time that we should not take garbage to their places because it would cause diseases. So there was a need to open up a place of this nature to start composting, much as we are getting rid of the garbage. But what people call garbage, to us it is a resource. So we've actually sensitized people from all divisions of Fort Portal municipality, telling them how to sort it, grade it before it is just brought to the site. And this one has made our work very easy. And we don't take a lot of time on the composting site. And that's one of the reasons why you find Fort Portal municipality is the cleanest.
In Intungamo district, the National Water and Sewage Corporation is mandated with ensuring that communities have access to safe water. The corporation works in partnership with community leaders to ensure that the needs of the community are met.
Obuvunaanyizibwa bwanje no kureba ngu enfureja yibatimba ishikire ekindi pipes kureba ngu batekamu ezibonire ezitafire kureba ngu abantu baitu baserezi bafuna amizi kandi omburinganiza garukurabira omu office ya National Water. So mbwene ekyo nikyesimiza abatuze baserezi ezituhererire kandi ezindi kwebembera sereza 26 eza municipality yona. Buzima nibabikwata kandi babifollowinga kureba ngu ekitwabagambira kyona bakishikiriza okuba buri kimwe amizi yitwagira ngo amizi ahagafa speed babashikireho yitwabagira ngo hatariho amizi speed bagasindikire. So mbwene ubuhereza obwa National Water buri muno bubonera munonga.
When we are planning, we involve the community. We always have water user committee, so we ask these people. So we go and make a field visit with our engineer, then we measure. We make an analysis, and then we decide how to give the water. So the community is very much involved in deciding these infrastructure service delivery programs.
In Lira, through the People's Parliament, communities' needs have been shared with local government and improvements have been realized.
They call us community parliament. So we talk for those who their voice cannot be heard. So we talk for the voice of the voiceless. There were so many problems facing the community. Sanitation also was not good at all. There were no toilets. Water points were not being cared. You find a woman goes to pick water with a dirty jerrycan. She will begin cleaning the jerrycan also where she's again fetching the water. Even at home, they don't mind about clean things. On the pot, there is only 1 cup. They are using what? For drinking water, for drawing water in the pot, taking to the visitors. But what we did, we again started sensitizing community. Come and tell them that you have to use a good water chain from the well up to the drinking point. We also introduced things like tippy tap. After the toilet, you have to clean your hands. At least 30 to 60% of the family now has a tippy tap just in front of the toilet.
Apart from demanding services, communities have equally participated in service delivery monitoring to ensure value for money and that services provided are of quality and meet the needs on the ground.
The people we serve are empowered, are mandated to monitor what we do. Once, for instance, we have chosen to put a school in a specific locality. We go there, meet them with the contractor selected, and then present to them the contractor and tell them what we expect the contractor to do and also what we expect them as a benefiting community to do to check the progress of the project. And we also form what we call the project management committee, comprising of the locals of that specific area to help us as the first point of contact between the contractor and us.
In Lira, civil society organizations have supported communities to monitor service delivery through the community parliament.
Yeah, the community parliament has greatly improved on the service delivery in my community, and that has been able to drastically transform service delivery in my constituency. For one thing, the community are actively now participating in the monitoring of the service delivery that is being provided to them through the representations in the community parliament. Because in the community parliaments, we have representations from each and every parish. So wherever there is any service provision project in the community parliament moves in there to see how the implementations of the project is, link up with the project committee, and then they also ask for maybe the available resources that is being involved in the implementations of that service delivery, and closely follow how it is being done.
Like I give an example, we tried with one road. There was a road that was being open. That contractor came and just did bush clearing, but he was given the whole money, over 6 million. Instead of coming by 9, the man would arrive by 3 in the evening and just make one line and goes back. And he said it is over. So we called a meeting for the community parliament. I called the chairman, was also there. The sub-county chief refused to come. So he said we want to chase him. It is his work. We are not supposed to do that. Why are we doing that? Who taught us to do such a thing? But we said we are doing what we are taught to do. We are seeing how the government money is being managed. So he had that money. When we continue going, we went up to the RDC. The man decided to get transfer from here.
However, not all communities and CSOs in Uganda are given the opportunity to inform development plans and participate in monitoring service delivery.
The communities have not been trained well to do the monitoring of the programs. So they just leave it, they are just on the receiving end without participating exactly to monitor exactly what is due for them, how much and of what quality.
Other communities are simply disenfranchised.
The level of community participation is low. When it is a local government initiative, people have shied away more than even in the CSOs activities. When it comes to government programs, they say when they plan this year, they want a particular project in their area, and they wait for 1 year and it has not been implemented. They have lost hope.
There are gaps The communities are so disempowered that they fear officials. The officials, the councillors, political leaders, at times, and most of the time, they think for the people. And even when they put investment projects, the people just leave them. They say, that is so and so's project, we were never consulted. So the voice of the people now are themselves. They have to be encouraged to demand, to show dissatisfaction without fear or favor, and their input to be put into the planning process through health assistance, community development assistants, community development officers. They are our frontline managers.
In such cases, communities need to be empowered enough to participate in development. In the Rwenzori region, Hewasa, a UWASNET member and regional coordinator for over 20 civil society organizations in the Rwenzori region, sensitizes communities on their roles and responsibilities, including participation in monitoring service delivery.
Members of the civil society organizations, Hewasa program promotes the participation of the community members in monitoring government programs. We mobilize the community members and sensitize them on their rights and responsibilities to effective and efficient WASH services. Once the communities are sensitized and they are aware of their rights, then they're able to demand for those rights from the duty bearers, which are the local governments.
When we used to work without involving communities, they were calling us names. In fact, they would call us thieves. They call us people who have come to steal our money. We pay our taxes, we don't know where it goes. They drive our money. You know, when you drive this government car, they say, no, this is taxpayers' money. But little would they know that as you drive those cars, maybe you are going to address one issue or another. But when we started involving these communities into this, they actually knew that what we collect is not too much to solve all the problems which we have in the municipalities. And they started appreciating what we go through.
When communities are left out of planning processes, a number of development interventions are not sustainable.
Where information is not available, people will misunderstand what we are doing. They will misunderstand us. They will not think that what is being done is for their good. They might think that we are doing things selfishly to satisfy our needs. They will think we are, diverting resources, so long as people are not informed.
We need them as our partners to help us perform and serve the people. Because, we can't stretch to cover everywhere. But if we had these partners here, that would be okay.
In the course of implementation and planning and, breeding new ideas, there is a lot they bring. They have to hold the government accountable because they are not in the government system. By checking what the government is doing and planning and putting in their input. But they have also to be a voice to hear what the people are saying and bring the people's voice. So what you have to do now is to bring their experience to us. We share ours with them and have a regular forum where we talk with one open mind.
The civil society organizations should help government to monitor the programs. Sometimes it is not possible to check yourself, but somebody can help you check you what exactly you are doing. While government is the big implementer of programs, we need another arm to do the monitoring. And the civil society organizations, I think they can do best. Yeah.
As a CSO monitor in budget monitoring, we need to work with the local governments by accessing what we call a district development plan. You need to have them before you go. You need to have the district budget, annual budgets, and annual work plans. And what you need to do is that you get to the communities and work with the right people.
It is at the district level where there is sharing of resources, distribution of resources, and allocation of resources. That is the point at which service is distributed to the communities. So it is very critical that our people should know who is going where. I would rather tell people that send weak people to parliament, but send very strong ones at district level. That's where you will get your elections right all the time.
When communities and CSOs are left out of the budget planning process and do not participate in budget implementation or monitoring, a number of challenges may arise, including the quality of works, misuse of monies, abuse of offices, and lack of community ownership of innovations. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 recognizes that power belongs to the people and they must participate in the process that affect their lives. Government has a primary role to provide services to each citizenry. Additionally, citizens have the duty to monitor the way services are delivered and give feedback on the necessary reforms. The active participation of all key stakeholders is vital to the realization of Vision 2040 and the Sustainable Development Goals in Uganda. Through this documentary, UWASNET, in partnership with its partners, call for inclusive decision-making processes, direct involvement of communities and CSOs in tracking budgets to ensure that allocated funds actually meet the needs on the ground.